sense and Theo's sense.
Yeah. Yes, there was quite a lot. We all got there before, about a month before shooting, and we kind of got stuck in and learned this new style of fighting which they came up with, because the idea was to have something reminiscent of what we know today, but have it to be a bit different, because obviously it's in the future. We had at one point I kind of played General 4 in a way, because we had a couple of days where everyone came in, and I kind of took them on a dauntless class, which was kind of funny.
He made me do 20 push-ups in front of 50 strangers because I laughed at him.
Yeah. Shay was like, "Are you serious?" But yeah, that was a big part of it, kind of, because I guess that's how dauntless are defined. They're kind of, in a way, their physicality and their strength. No, you clap.
Let's not start that.
Okay.
Did you guys, this is kind of a question for all of you, did you all have any particular issues with translating certain scenes from the book to the movie? Like, was there any particularly difficult scenes that didn't translate well, or ones that you wanted to get across?
No. I mean, yes. Yes, definitely. I feel like there is, the book has so many different things happening. It starts off with Triss switching factions, and then there's a storyline between four, and then there's a storyline between her and Shailene, and then there's her becoming dauntless, and is she gonna survive or not survive, and then sort of breaks out in war. So there's so many things that are happening that to translate that to the screen was, I think, a bit difficult for the screenwriters. And the script was sort of evolving as we were filming. So we had a baseline script, and we had most of the scenes, but there were often times where Theo and I, with the director the night before, or the morning of, would be like, this, how do we bring more truth to the situation? How do we bring it back to the book, relate it back to the original storyline, but also lend the movie its own creative process, because they are two separate things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was something we were constantly working on.
And I think we realized that there are some things you have to lose in the context of making a movie. And then sometimes in scenes there would be particular lines from the book, which was a poignant line, and as much as we could, we tried to keep them in, but sometimes, for whatever reason, inevitably, because it's a different medium, we found that it needed to be communicated in different ways. So that was one of the lessons we learned as well.
Or sometimes we'd look at a scene and we'd be like, this scene isn't working, and then we'd go back to the book and sort of translate that scene verbatim.
Actually, we did that quite a lot, didn't we? We'd look at if we were looking at a scene and thinking there's a section of it which feels like it's not real or it doesn't work, and we would go back to the book and we'd look at the very scene.
I was kind of glad when they picked some of the dialogue, actually, because when I heard the audiobook for the first time, I remember hearing some of the lines out loud, and I was like, maybe not what someone would say. So for me, it was like, oh, good, we can just enjoy the sense of what was being said instead of the word for word translation of what was being said. I mean, that's way more important to me and has been throughout this whole time.
Communicate the intent.
Seeing the book scene for scene, word for word, character for character, replicated on the screen, but to have the general thrust of the narrative and the characters remain very close to how they were, and I think that was pretty much achieved, which is a good thing. But one thing I thought was probably a challenge, I didn't do it, so I don't know. The choosing ceremony must have been hard, because that scene is entirely in Triss's mind, and it's a huge struggle. But when I saw it, good job, Shay.
Thanks, dude. Fun tip about that scene is the first dude who goes up and cuts his hand is Neil Berger, our director's son.
And his daughter is in your fear ceremony.
And the daughter's the little girl who the dog tries to attack in the beginning.
Oh.
Neil plug into his family.
That guy, I tell you.
I'm not going to be the second movie. Someone else will say that.
Thank you.
For Veronica, were any scenes from Divergent based off of your time in
Sorry, I'm just imagining how that could be. Not really, no. I mean, I think I'm someone who's familiar with fairly intense environments and competitive ones, but other than that, I mean, that's really the only thing. And I mean, to say that with the caveat that, like, you know, Barrington High School where I went to school and then Northwestern, no one was trying to like punch me or stab me, so it's not like that intense. But I'm just saying, you know, feeling like that sort of pressurized and contained thing is sort of what translated to the book well. But other than that, I mean, it's just a sort of huge leap of imagination.